Ladies and gentlemen, I want to begin with a question that may disturb your comfort, but awaken your destiny. Why do most people live the same life year after year, even though they pray for change, dream about change, and talk about change? The truth is simple but powerful. Your life will not change until your mornings change. The way you start your morning determines the direction of your day, and the direction of your days eventually determines the destiny of your life. Most people wake up reacting to life, checking their phones, listening to negative news, and allowing the world to program their mind before they have even spoken one word of purpose over their own life. But the greatest leaders, the most effective people, the men and women who walk in purpose, they understand a secret that many people ignore. Morning is not just the beginning of a day. Morning is the launching pad of your destiny. You see, success is not an accident. It is the result of intentional daily habits. If you want to change your life, you must start by changing what you do when you wake up. The first thing you must do every morning is take control of your mind before the world takes control of it. Most people allow circumstances to control their thoughts, but a person who understands purpose speaks to their day before their day speaks to them. When you wake up in the morning, do not immediately surrender your attention to distractions. Instead, take a moment of silence, breathe deeply, and remember who you are and why you were created. You were not born to simply exist. You were born to fulfill a divine assignment. And when you remind yourself of that every morning, something powerful begins to happen inside you. Every morning when you open your eyes, something powerful and invisible begins to happen. A battle starts. It is not a battle between you and another person. It is a battle between purpose and distraction. Most people never realize that the first few minutes after waking up can determine the direction of the entire day. If you lose control of your morning, you will spend the rest of the day trying to recover the energy, the focus, and the clarity you already surrendered. This is why many people feel exhausted before their day has even truly begun. They allowed the world to speak to them before they spoke to their own destiny. Think about it carefully. What is the first thing most people do when they wake up? They reach for their phone. Before their mind is clear, before they have even spoken one word of gratitude, before they have reminded themselves who they are, they begin scrolling through messages, social media, and negative headlines. In that moment, they unknowingly give the world permission to program their thinking. Their mood becomes controlled by other people's opinions. Their focus becomes scattered by endless information, and their confidence slowly fades because they begin comparing their lives to everyone else. What a dangerous way to start a day that was supposed to carry your purpose. But the people who transform their lives understand something different. They understand that morning is sacred. Morning is the moment where you take authority over your mind. Instead of waking up and reacting to life, they wake up and begin directing life. They pause, they breathe, and they remember something powerful. Today is not an accident. Today is another opportunity to move closer to the reason they were born. When you wake up with that awareness, you immediately change the atmosphere of your mind. Let me challenge you with a thought that might shift your perspective forever. The world is full of people who wake up every day with potential, but very few wake up with intention. Potential alone does not change your life. Intention does. You can have talent, ideas, dreams, and even opportunities, but if you begin every morning in confusion and distraction, those gifts will remain unused. Discipline in the morning is what separates people who drift through life from people who design their life. Imagine starting your morning differently. Instead of grabbing your phone, you sit up with awareness and gratitude. Instead of allowing the noise of the world to enter your mind, you take control of your thoughts. You speak words of purpose over your life. You remind yourself that you are not here by accident, that your life carries value, that today has assignments waiting for you. Those few moments of intentional thinking create mental clarity that most people never experience. Suddenly your mind is not crowded with distractions. Your focus becomes sharp, your confidence becomes stronger, and your decisions become more intentional. You must understand that leadership begins with self-leadership. If you cannot lead your own morning, you will struggle to lead your own life. The first victory of the day is not closing a deal, making money, or completing a task. The first victory of the day is mastering your mind. When you wake up and immediately take authority over your thoughts, you are declaring that circumstances will not control you. Instead, you will control how you respond to circumstances. The reason this is so powerful is because the human mind follows patterns. When you repeatedly begin your day with focus, reflection, and intentional thinking, your brain begins to expect clarity instead of chaos. Over time, this habit transforms the way you approach challenges, opportunities, and even relationships. You begin the day calm instead of rushed, purposeful instead of reactive, confident instead of uncertain. And once you experience the power of controlling your morning, you will realize something profound. The secret to changing your life was never hidden in some distant future. It was hidden in the way you start your day. There is a moment in the morning that many people ignore, yet it holds the power to shape the entire direction of their lives. It is the moment when the mind is quiet, the world has not yet placed its demands on you, and your spirit is open to receive clarity. This is why beginning your day with prayer is not simply a religious routine. It is a strategic alignment with the source of wisdom, strength, and purpose. Most people wake up and immediately rush into activity, but activity without alignment often leads to confusion, frustration, and exhaustion. When you start your morning with prayer, you are not just speaking words, you are positioning your life under divine direction. Think about the pressure people face every day. Decisions must be made, problems must be solved, opportunities must be recognized, and challenges must be confronted. Many people try to carry all of this weight using only their own understanding. They rely on their emotions, their past experiences, or the opinions of others to guide their actions. But the truth is that human wisdom has limits. There are moments in life when intelligence alone cannot provide the answer you need. This is where prayer becomes powerful. Prayer is the moment when you step beyond your limited perspective and connect with the infinite wisdom of God. Consider this thought carefully. Before the world begins demanding your attention, who should you listen to first? Before social media begins filling your mind with opinions, before news headlines attempt to shape your emotions, before people begin asking you for your time and energy, there should be a moment where you pause and speak to the one who created you. That moment changes everything. When you pray in the morning, you shift the atmosphere of your mind. Anxiety begins to lose its power. Confusion begins to fade. Your spirit becomes calm because you remember that your life is not random, it is guided. Many people misunderstand prayer. They think prayer is only about asking for things. But true prayer is deeper than requests. Prayer is alignment. It is where your thoughts become synchronized with God's purpose for your life. When you pray in the morning, you are essentially saying, "Today I choose to walk in wisdom. Today I choose to follow purpose instead of pressure." That simple act of surrender creates a mental clarity that most people never experience. Suddenly, your decisions are not driven by fear, comparison, or insecurity. Instead, they are guided by confidence and inner peace. Let me share something that successful leaders often understand. Every great leader needs guidance. Leadership without guidance eventually leads to mistakes. But when a person begins the day with prayer, they invite divine guidance into their decisions. You begin to notice opportunities others overlook. You develop patience in situations that would normally frustrate you. You gain the ability to respond wisely instead of reacting emotionally. Prayer prepares your mind to lead your day instead of being overwhelmed by it. There is also another powerful effect that prayer has on the human spirit. It strengthens your identity. When you spend time with God in the morning, you are reminded of who you truly are. The world constantly tries to define people through success, failure, status, or comparison. But in prayer, you reconnect with the truth that your value does not come from public approval. It comes from divine purpose. That realization gives you confidence that cannot easily be shaken by criticism, rejection, or temporary setbacks. Imagine facing the challenges of the day with that level of inner stability. Instead of feeling rushed and overwhelmed, you feel prepared. Instead of feeling uncertain, you feel guided. Instead of feeling alone in your responsibilities, you feel supported by a greater presence. That is the quiet power of beginning your day with prayer. It centers your spirit, strengthens your mind, and places your life in alignment with the purpose you were created to fulfill. One of the greatest secrets of transformation is understanding that your mind is the control center of your life. Every decision you make, every action you take, and every result you experience begins first as a thought. Yet most people never intentionally train their minds. They wake up every morning and allow information, opinions, and distractions to flood their thinking without realizing that whatever enters their mind will eventually shape their behavior. If you want to change your life, you must begin by feeding your mind with vision instead of distraction. Let me challenge you with a question that may expose a powerful truth. What is the first type of information your mind receives each morning? For many people, the answer is social media, random messages, or negative news. Within minutes of waking up, their mind is filled with other people's lifestyles, arguments, problems, and comparisons. They begin their day consuming information that has nothing to do with their purpose. The result is predictable. Their focus becomes scattered, their confidence weakens, and their energy slowly drains before they have even started their most important work. The human mind was not designed to operate effectively under constant distraction. It was designed to pursue vision. Vision gives direction to your thoughts. Vision gives meaning to your actions. Without vision, the mind becomes like a ship without a compass, drifting wherever the winds of information push it. This is why so many people feel busy yet unfulfilled. They are constantly moving, constantly consuming information, constantly reacting to what others are doing, but they are not moving toward a clear destination. Successful people understand that the mind must be intentionally trained every day. Just like the body requires healthy food to grow stronger, the mind requires powerful ideas to become focused and disciplined. When you wake up in the morning, your mind is at its most receptive state. This is the moment when your thinking can be shaped in the direction you choose. If you fill it with wisdom, purpose, and vision, your thoughts will begin to align with the future you want to create. Imagine beginning your morning by feeding your mind with knowledge that expands your thinking. Instead of scrolling endlessly through distractions, you read something that challenges your perspective. Instead of comparing your life with others, you focus on developing your own potential. When you expose your mind to powerful ideas early in the day, something remarkable begins to happen. Your thinking becomes clearer. Your confidence grows stronger. You begin to see possibilities where others only see limitations. But feeding your mind with vision is not only about reading or learning, it is also about reminding yourself of where you are going in life. Vision is the mental picture of your future that inspires your present actions. When you regularly reflect on your goals and purpose, your brain begins to organize your thoughts around achieving that vision. Suddenly, your decisions become more intentional. Your time becomes more valuable. You begin to filter distractions because they no longer align with the direction you are moving. Consider this powerful truth. Whatever dominates your mind eventually directs your life. If fear dominates your thinking, your actions will reflect hesitation. If doubt fills your mind, your potential will remain locked inside you. But when vision dominates your thinking, your behavior begins to change. You start taking actions that move you toward your goals. You become more disciplined with your time. You become more selective about the information you allow into your mind. The difference between people who achieve extraordinary things and those who remain stuck is often not intelligence or opportunity, it is mental focus. Extraordinary individuals guard their minds carefully because they understand that their future is being shaped by what they think about consistently. They refuse to allow endless distractions to steal the mental energy needed to pursue their purpose. When you begin your day feeding your mind with vision, you are essentially programming your life for progress. Your thoughts begin moving in the direction of growth instead of limitation. Your creativity becomes stronger because your mind is not crowded with meaningless information. Your confidence increases because you are focused on purpose rather than comparison. And slowly, day by day, the way you think begins to transform the way you live. There is a powerful truth about success that many people do not like to hear. Dreams alone will not change your life. Inspiration alone will not build your future. Even prayer and vision, as powerful as they are, must eventually be followed by disciplined action. Every person has ideas, desires, and hopes about the life they want to live. But the difference between those who transform their lives and those who remain in the same place year after year is simple, disciplined action. Purpose demands movement. Vision demands effort. Destiny responds to the decisions you consistently make every single day. Let me challenge you with a question that may expose the gap between potential and progress. What are you doing every morning that moves your life forward? Not what you plan to do someday, not what you hope to accomplish in the future. What action are you taking today that brings you one step closer to the life you believe you were created to live? Many people spend years talking about their dreams, but talking is comfortable. Action requires courage. Action requires discipline. Action requires the willingness to move even when motivation is low. You must understand something about discipline that most people misunderstand. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is training. When an athlete trains every day, they are not suffering unnecessarily. They are preparing their body to perform at a higher level. In the same way, when you practice discipline in your daily actions, you are preparing your life for greater responsibility and greater opportunities. The problem is that many people wait for motivation before they act. But motivation is temporary. Discipline is what keeps you moving when emotions change. Imagine waking up each morning with a clear decision that today you will take at least one meaningful step toward your purpose. It may not be a massive step. It may be small, simple, and quiet, but never underestimate the power of consistent progress. History has shown us that extraordinary achievements are rarely the result of one dramatic moment. They are usually the result of small, disciplined actions repeated over long periods of time. One phone call, one new idea, 1 hour of focused work, one improvement in your skill. These small actions accumulate until they create results that appear remarkable to others. There is also another important reality about disciplined action. Action builds confidence. Many people struggle with self-doubt because they spend too much time thinking and not enough time doing. The mind begins to question its own abilities when it remains inactive. But the moment you begin taking action, even imperfect action, something shifts inside you. Your confidence begins to grow because you are no longer only imagining success, you are participating in the process of creating it. Consider how powerful this becomes when practiced every morning. Instead of starting your day with hesitation or procrastination, you begin the day with purposeful movement. You identify the most important task that aligns with your vision, and you commit to working on it with focus and discipline. This single habit can transform the trajectory of your life. While others delay their progress waiting for the perfect moment, you are already building momentum. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in personal growth. When you consistently act on your purpose, each step makes the next step easier. Opportunities begin to appear because people recognize commitment and reliability. Skills improve because practice produces mastery. And the goals that once seemed distant begin to move closer with every disciplined effort. Many people underestimate the power of daily consistency because they are searching for immediate results. But greatness is rarely instant. It is built quietly through persistent effort. The person who decides every morning to act on their purpose develops a strength of character that cannot easily be shaken by obstacles or criticism. They become focused, resilient, and determined because their progress is no longer based on emotions. It is based on discipline. When you combine clear vision with disciplined action, your life begins to move in a powerful direction. Your days stop being random and start becoming intentional. Your time becomes an investment rather than something wasted. And the future you once hoped for slowly becomes the reality you are actively building through the actions you choose to take each morning.